Alright, I'm getting ready to head out on my kayaking adventure on the Jack's Fork River. See, I got my boat loaded up here in my truck. There we go. I'll be heading out. It is about noon on Thursday, so hope to be there around 5:30 this evening at Two Rivers Campground. That's where I'll camp tonight, and then tomorrow they'll shuttle me up the river to, I think, the Highway 17 bridge, and then I'll get on the river and start floating tomorrow. I stopped here in Springfield on Battlefield Road and Highway 65 to get gas. There we go, getting gas. Looks like the boat's still in there okay. Hadn't stopped and checked it all along the way, so probably should have, but it's still in there nice and tight. Charlie and I got her in there nice and tight. Straps are still tight. Looks like I should be down at the campground around 5 o'clock. It is 5:55 here on Thursday evening. I am here at Two Rivers at the campground. Got here about 15 minutes ago. The river here is right in front of me, so I will flip the camera around and give you guys a look at it. There you go, that's the current river, I guess up there, coming towards us. And the Jack's Fork, which is what I'm going to float on, is coming in from the left here. So yeah, tomorrow they'll load up the shuttle around 8 o'clock in the morning and head on up to this Highway 17 bridge. Get on hopefully bright and early in the morning. Maybe do, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles or something like that tomorrow. I'm not really sure. Camp on the river somewhere. Depends on where I find a spot. If it gets later in the evening and I've only gone 10 or so miles and I find a good camping spot, I'll just stop. But if not, I'll just move on until I find a good spot. And then, yeah, camp out tomorrow night. Get up Saturday morning and probably get another 20 or so miles in, camp on the river again, and then get up Sunday morning, paddle right back down here to Two Rivers, and hopefully get off bright and early. I don't know if you can see it in the video, there are just a ton of gnats around here. They're swarming around me, but anyway, I am going to go set up my tent and get a camp set up, and hopefully be set for the evening. I might bring my boat down to the river here and paddle around a little bit just to check everything out, make sure I'm in good shape for tomorrow. And I'll go down here to the river access and get a couple more pictures of the road I'm heading down. Alright, well, the river's down there somewhere. Let's see what it looks like and get some pictures. Alright, I made it down to the river. I'll admit I cheated. I decided not to walk. I went back and got my truck and drove down here. Mainly so I could bring my kayak down and throw in the river and paddle a little bit. Alright, so I said I would show you my campsite. Here it is. Nothing exciting. Got my Kindle over there so I can read. Some water. Got my tent, my sleeping bag and sleeping pad in there, and that's it. So this will be home for the evening, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm supposed to be shuttled from here. It's supposed to pick me up here at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I say pick me up. They're going to drive from right over there where that white van is to over here to pick me up. Load my gear up on the trailer, and then we'll head on up to the river and get paddling tomorrow morning. Alright, I got this cool little caterpillar here that's hanging out with me on my picnic table, so I want to give you a shot of him here. So it is Friday morning, about 6:15. Alright, it is 9:01 here Friday morning, and I am at the river. You can see here, Highway 17 bridge is just around that bend. The river flows this way. We'll be putting in just a second. Got everything loaded in the boat, paddle ready. You can probably hear a little bit of thunder. There's a storm that kind of came through as we were driving. Rained a little bit. A little hard for a little bit and sprinkled a little bit of thunder and lightning, which I wasn't a fan of, but it all seems to be passing. Not sure which direction it's going, but it's moving out, so I guess the rain will be good. That'll bring the water level up a little bit, and that's never a bad thing. And hopefully it'll clear up and have some nice sunny skies. Or I guess if it's cloudy, that's fine too. Just no lightning would be good. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on the river and start the journey. So I'm going to go take a look at the spring back here if I can. I think I can climb up this little trail here and get back and look in this cave. A little bit of a chore to get my boat up here. It's kind of slick there in the mud and I managed, but I almost fell in once. Anyway, let's go take a look at this cave spring. Get a look at it right here real quick. Alright, well, here's the spring. Doesn't look like the cave goes back too far. Alright, it is 10:30 on the nose, so I thought I'd go ahead and grab a snack and take a little break. It's been really fun paddling so far. The overcast skies have helped keep the temperature down. It's actually not bad. I don't know what it is, but the temperature is, but it's pretty comfortable. Quite a few rapids, so it's been moving along pretty well. And then right back around the other bend, farther up the river, there's a big cliff, and there's an otter right down at the bottom of the cliff. I don't know what he was doing. I didn't see him until the very last minute. I looked over and saw him, and he saw me, and he took off running back up the cliff. And he had him a little trail there, and he ran up and disappeared into the bushes. So I was floating around that rock up there, and when I came around, I guess that rock's sticking out up there. When I came around the rock, I saw something splashing in the water. Let me get turned around here so I don't hit a tree. It looked like a butterfly, and I went over to get a closer look, and it was this guy. So I thought I'd better catch him and save him and put him up on dry land, but he is super pretty. There's a gravel bar coming up here. I'll pull over and put him up on a tree or something where he can dry off and hopefully fly away. He had a rough little go at it there. He was flopping around a lot trying to get up out of the water. I don't know what kind of butterfly it is, but it looks cool. See, it's really big too. There you go, big guy. Alright, I'm going to paddle over to this gravel bar and put him on a branch. Alright, so my little butterfly friend here has decided he wants to hang on to my vest for a little bit. I will, like I said, find a branch, a little tree down there to put him on so he can dry out and hopefully fly away. Doesn't really want to let go. There you go, buddy. Alright, dry out, fly off. So when I was coming down the river, I could hear some kind of roaring, rapid something. And there is a little bit of a rapid here, but it's not much, so it's not making much noise. But I found the source of that sound. It's this cave. And I'm guessing there's a little bit of a waterfall back there because there is water coming out of it, but it's not coming out that fast. So that's a sound, which hopefully you can hear. It's most likely from a waterfall. So I'm going to venture back there a little ways and see if I can see what it is. Well, I made it a little ways. Actually, I'm right at the entrance. I don't know, it looks like if I crawl through those rocks and everything, I might get back there, but I'm not so sure that I want to do that, especially since I'm alone. So if anything happens, no one would know I was here, so I probably won't be crawling back in there. But hopefully now you can hear the sound I was talking about. I'm pretty sure that's a waterfall. And these huge rocks right here. I don't know how long they've been there, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little intimidating standing right below those things. Man, that cave is really big. I don't know how well you can see that on the camera. Really curious about that waterfall back there. Maybe it's just roaring out of the side from a spring. Again, the water's not flowing too fast, so it's almost got to be falling down. Here's another cool butterfly. Seems to be attracted to my glove. There's another one here a minute ago that was attracted to my sunglasses, but that one flew off. Now we're down to just the one here that seems to like my gloves a lot. Caught this little turtle. He was sitting on a branch there on the side of the river. Tried to catch a few bigger turtles, but they wouldn't let me get close enough to them, so I ended up just catching this one little guy. All right, another quick stop here. Time is at 1:30. Going to put some more sunscreen on and just take a little break, stand up, stretch the legs and back. The Dagger Zydeco is holding up well. Getting ready to go through some more rapids down there, pretty mild. Most everything's been pretty tame on this river. I think I got some footage of some of the faster rapids, but nothing's really too fast. There have been quite a few trees down, so I've had to zigzag in and out of them and dodge root balls and stuff like that. Had to go around a couple strainers, so that's been interesting, but been a little bit of a challenge. Just have to scout the rapids a little bit just from the boat. I haven't had to get up and or get out of the boat and walk any rapids, but yep, that's been about the most of the challenge. It's a really fun river. It's really pretty too. The upper part, so I'm about 12 and a half, almost 13 miles down, 12.88 according to my watch, from Highway 17 bridge. The upper part, there are a lot of springs feeding in from several different cliffs and just different side parts of the river. But yeah, lately I haven't seen very many, so it seems like we're getting fewer of those as I get farther down. Although there's still just as many cliffs, it seems like. This is a really tall one, actually. So maybe I'm just at a little stretch here where there aren't many springs feeding in, and maybe there will be more, but I haven't seen as many down here probably in the last 5 miles as I saw in the first, I guess, 7 miles. So. Alright, yeah, I forgot to mention the bald eagle that I saw. I got a bunch of pictures of it. Hopefully they turn out really well, and I'll put some in the video here, but it was pretty cool watching him fly from tree to tree. He'd fly down the river a little bit, and I'd catch him, and he'd fly a little bit, and I'd catch him again. I think we did that about 3 times. The second time he lost a tail feather, or a feather off his head, I guess, because it was a kind of a fluffy white feather. Maybe 4 or 5 inches long, and it fell in the river, so I went over and scooped it up. Unfortunately, when I scooped it up, it got kind of watered up because it was wet. I have it strapped to my boat there, and hopefully it'll dry out and I can have a feather from that bald eagle. But anyway, that was really cool, and again, hopefully the pictures turn out and I can put them in the video. Caught another turtle. This one was trying to swim, but not doing a very good job. I don't think he wanted to be in the water. So I picked him up and took him on over to the bank and let him go. Alright, we got him safely back to shore. He'll crawl on up there. He's safe. Go ahead and make sure he's going to get on up out of there. Get on up. caught another one of those butterflies. Don't know what kind they are, but got another one. This one was doing the same thing the first one was. He had landed in the river and was trying to fly but couldn't. I will once again pull over and try to find a branch I can put him on so he can dry out and hopefully fly away. They look really, really cool. Nice close shot of this thing. Now wait a minute. Could this be the same butterfly trying to come and have me hold him again? Maybe he wants to be my pet? Maybe he wants to come home and be Charlie's pet? I don't know. Guess I could just leave him on my boat and see if he stays with me all the way to camp. I'll do that and see how long he hangs around. See if he's here later. Alright, it is 4:37 here on Friday afternoon, evening, and I've gone about 24 miles, give or take. So a little more than I had planned on doing today, but just wanted to go ahead and get some miles in since the weather was nice and give me a little more relaxed day tomorrow. And I think this is where I'm going to camp. It looks pretty good. It's a really, really, really big gravel bar here. Lots of driftwood spread all over it, so getting firewood should be pretty easy. And there's plenty of stacked up driftwood back there, so should be easy to get firewood. I can just set my tent up here. Should be up high enough just in case it rains tonight. It's not supposed to, but should be a good place. And the river's a little bit calm here, so I can paddle out and get some water to filter. I drank most of my water for the day. I had a couple liters, so I'll need to filter some water for my food and then filter water to have to drink. Alright, so I have camp set up, gathered some firewood, filtered some water, got my camp stove set up, so now I think I just need to go ahead and make dinner, and so I can have that eaten and cleaned up, and then I'll make a campfire here and just relax the rest of the night. So get a quick view of my campsite here. There you go, there's the tent and the sleeping bag and everything. Haven't thrown in there, and the stove set up and ready to go. It's inside the little heat reflector. I don't usually use the heat reflector, but I just got it out for some reason today. Yep, all the stuff spread out everywhere, so I'll go through that and get my dinner made and pack everything back up and stick it underneath the vestibule of my tent there tonight so it doesn't get covered with dew. That was one reason I picked this gravel bar that faced west, because my tent was completely soaked in dew. So when I packed it up this morning, it was really wet. So there was water in the bottom of the dry bag because there's so much water on the tent. So yeah, the sun here dried it out pretty quickly. I think it's all dry now. Looks like it is. So then in the morning, it's like this will be east over here. No bluffs behind me or anything, so should get some early morning sun. And since I did some extra miles today, I will be able to break camp later in the morning and hopefully let the sun evaporate the dew off my tent before I pack it up tomorrow morning. So I guess I'll go ahead and make dinner. Let's see what's on the menu tonight. Noodles and chicken, beef stew, biscuits and gravy tomorrow morning. Spaghetti with meat sauce. It's pretty yummy. I've had it before, beef stew before. I don't know if I've had the noodles and chicken before. And another noodles and chicken. These four have been around for a while. I bought those back before Charlie was born, when I used to do this camping thing more often. Looks like they expired 3 years ago, but I don't think they really expire. At least I hope not, because I'm going to eat them tonight. So, alright, yep. There's the water I made. So my water filtering system. Have the Steri pin here. It's just a UV light bulb. So use, let's see, the steps. So stick this funnel down in the cup, the water bottle, and then let's see, this mesh filter sticks down in the funnel there. It's kind of a crud catcher. So you fill up your water bottle with that, and you pull out the mesh filter, stick the UV light in there, push the button, UV light comes on. Depending on how much water you have, determines how much time the UV lamp stays on. I did a liter each, those water bottles for each a liter. So it looks like it takes it 90 seconds to purify 1 liter. So I did that a couple times. So I'll use probably most of one of those to cook my dinner, and then probably drink most of the rest. So in the morning I'll purify some more water. And I guess that's it. I got really lucky with the gravel bar. I think this will work out really well, hopefully. And you know, like I said, plenty of firewood. And you can see I gathered quite a bit, and I even drug over this big limb. I'll burn it in two a couple times, so then I'll have a few big pieces to keep piling back on. So yeah, I guess if I run out, I got plenty more right back there. So alright, I am going to boil some water on my stove here and make dinner after I figure out what I'm going to make. Alright, I think I'm going to go with noodles and chicken since I have two of them. Alright, I finished up my chicken and noodles. Oops, camera's tilting. Try it again. Okay, finished up my chicken and noodles. It's really pretty yummy. And I'm still a little bit hungry. Something's biting me. So I'm going to make something else. I'm not sure if I'll make another chicken and noodle or spaghetti with meat sauce. I think I might go spaghetti and meat sauce. Chicken noodle is really good. I might save the other one of those for tomorrow night. Anyway, the stove is going, and I'll make some more food in just a little bit. It takes a while to boil the water, which doesn't take too terribly long. And you gotta let the meal set for about 10 minutes, and then it takes it a long time to cool down. So I should have started the other one right after the first one. After a few bites of the first one, or about a third of the way through, I realized I was going to want a second one. So I tried to get my stove going again, but it was too hot. So I had to let my stove cool down before I could relight it. But it's going now. We'll have some boiled water in a minute or two, and probably make some spaghetti with meat sauce. While I was waiting on my second meal to make, by the way, I went with beef stew, in case you're wondering. Just had to go ahead and get the campfire going. Sorry about the camera work there. Alright, dinner is done. Got the campfire going there in the background. And I'm boiling a little more water to do the dishes. I'm going to clean up my spoon and fork that I used to eat with. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to sit around the campfire and burn the rest of that wood in that pile right there. That's about all I've got going for the evening. Brush my teeth and go to bed, but it's going to be a while. I'm going to sit and enjoy this beautiful night. The sunset is, sorry for the camera work there, obviously behind that bluff. It's just beautiful blue skies. So I am going to enjoy the evening. Hopefully it stays clear like this so I can see a whole bunch of stars tonight. Of course, the chances are I'll be asleep before that happens, but I'll wake up before they go away. That's more than likely how I'll see them. Alright. Looks like my dishwater's boiling, so I better get to doing dishes. Well, you can see I have the campfire, I guess I should say all the wood thrown on the campfire. And I'll probably just keep throwing the burn ends on there for the rest of the evening, and who knows if it'll still be going when I go to bed. Probably so. What time is it? 7:50. So it'll be a while longer before I go to bed, but I think this fire's going to burn a while. This has turned out to be a really good campsite. As I was setting up camp, a handful of people went by, a group of kayakers, a group of canoers, maybe another group of kayakers. But after that, no one's been by, so nice and peace and quiet, nice and peaceful and quiet. So I really enjoyed it. Having all the wood right here accessible, easily accessible, is nice. Didn't really have to work too much to get the wood for the campfire. And yep, like I mentioned earlier, having the calm water there to scoop up water to purify was really handy too. So far it's been a good campsite. Hopefully it remains that way the rest of the evening and then tomorrow morning. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but there's a deer right back over there in the trees. This camera on this so wide angle you might not be able to see it. Would go get my other camera, but I'm afraid the deer will take off if I move. It's getting a little closer, maybe you can see it now. I'm surprised it's still there. When I walked over to get this camera, popped its head up and looked right at me with its ears up and everything. So I'm sure it heard me and saw me, but it just decided not to run, which surprises me. Maybe it'll come out of the bushes there and we'll get a better view of it. It is 5:38 on Saturday morning. I've been up for quite a while. I guess around 4 o'clock is when I woke up, I think. Just I got out of my tent, poked my head out around 4. It was still darker out, just to see if the fog had cleared, see if I could see the stars, but obviously I couldn't because of the fog. About 11:30 or so last night, some deer came walking down by my tent. I think it was deer. Something was walking down here, pretty quiet, but I could still hear it, and it woke me up. So after it laid there a little bit and let them slowly walk away, they went back in the trees behind me there. Then since I was awake, thought I would get up and take a look at the stars then, and once again it was super foggy. I couldn't see anything. I could see the full moon barely shining through the fog, so that was really helpful. It was really bright. I could see really well without a light or anything, but no stars, unfortunately. So yeah, this morning, like I mentioned last night, I'll break camp down a little bit later. I'm hopeful that the sun will come out early this morning and help dry my tent off before I roll it up and put it back in the stuff sack and pack up everything. So I'll have a little bit of time this morning, and of course I will make breakfast, have biscuits and gravy on the menu, and I just sit around and relax until, like I said, the sun burns the dew off my tent and I can get it packed up, and then I'll head on down. I didn't give an update on the butterfly yesterday that I picked up on the river and put on my kayak. He did ride with me all the way to camp, and I left him on my kayak down by the river as I set up camp. And then when I went back down to get my kayak, he had flown away. So I think he just wanted to ride to camp, I think is all he wanted. Or maybe just needed time to dry out, which is more likely the case. But anyway, he didn't stick around, so we'll not be bringing him home. There you can see the sun is starting to finally poke through the clouds a little bit. Or the fog, I guess. I don't think it's cloudy. I think we just got a lot of fog here in the river valley. And I still have some time for my biscuits and gravy here to get ready. I need to stir it again. It said let it hydrate for 5 minutes, stir, and then let it sit another 4 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and stir it up. It's been 5 minutes, and in about 5 more minutes I'll have breakfast ready. Alright, yesterday evening I came down here, I think when I was purifying water, I decided to skip some rocks to see if I could skip it all the way across the river here. And this morning I found 2 really good skipping rocks, and I tried again. I still haven't made it. So I'm going to try to find another couple of good skipping rocks. See if I can skip one all the way across this river. I'm afraid I'll end up throwing my arm out of socket trying, but we'll see. Alright, so let me hunt for some good skipping rocks. Alright, I found 4 decent skipping rocks here. 5 actually, if I can count. So I'm going to give it a shot. I don't think I'm going to make it. I've tried several times and haven't made it, but I'll give it 5 more tries, I guess. Hopefully I can get the camera here where you'll be able to see. Alright, give it a shot. Didn't make it. Also didn't make it. Not even close. Alright, rock number 4. Wait a minute. Oh, closer. Also didn't make it. Alright, rock 5, last try. Oh, closer still, but about, I don't know, 5 feet short. Oh well, give it a try. Better luck next time. Yesterday, after I took some pictures of that bald eagle, I mentioned that one of its feathers fell off into the river and I got it. So here it is. It dried out on my boat. I also mentioned it kind of got watered up when I picked it up out of the river, so I tried to unwad it, if that's a word, as much as I could this morning. You can see I did a little bit. Doesn't look much like a feather. That's it. That's what fell off that bald eagle. I guess off his head or neck or something like that. It's obviously not a tail feather, but. So this morning I mentioned that last night I heard footsteps around my camp and I was pretty sure it was deer. I guess I thought that because the one I had seen before I went to bed and just the way it sounded. And then I see this morning there are some deer tracks here behind my tent. So there's one and there's another. So looks like there were indeed deer here on the gravel bar with me last night. When I was taking my kayak down to the river to get ready to head out here in a few minutes, as soon as the rest of the dew burns off my tent, I looked down and found a really good skipping rock. So I'm going to give it another shot. Here comes another canoe, so I'm going to try to give it a shot before they get here. Alright, here we go. Oh, fail. Alright, it's 8:50 on Saturday morning, and I have everything loaded up and ready to go. Up ahead on the left there is the Alley Spring access point. It's hard to tell in the video, but there were literally dozens of boats, rafts, and tubes, and dozens of people waiting to put on the river there. So I went to the river to get away from people, to kind of have some time with nature and get away from everything. So this is not what I was hoping to see, but I wasn't super surprised to see it either because it was a nice weekend, nice Saturday in June. Anyways, a little disappointed to see this, but again, not completely unexpected. So this was the entrance to Alley Spring. I thought I'd give it a shot and try to paddle up the spring here and see if I could actually make it to the spring. The water was flowing out of here pretty fast, so I wasn't sure, but of course I had to try. So I started paddling up. You can see it's making decent headway. Then I saw a rock up ahead there on the right, so I thought I'd tuck in behind it, take a little rest, and sit there in the eddy current, see if I could find a good way to get up the stream. So yeah, anyway, I tucked in here for just a moment. And from here, you can even kind of see it on the video. Up on the left, there is a tree on the left with the roots sticking out, making another eddy. So I thought I would head over to that side. So pulled back out, started paddling even a little harder at this point. So it was getting a little shallower. The stream was getting shallower the farther up I was going. So the water was flowing faster and faster. So I had to paddle pretty hard at this point just to get up to this tree and the roots so I could get in the eddy there. And you can even see there how shallow it's getting, making the water go even faster and making me have to paddle a lot harder. So from here I couldn't see around the bend very far, but I could see the water was running a lot faster still. I could see a little rock ahead, so I thought I'd try to pop in behind it and catch that eddy. And you could see with the water flowing as fast as it was, just getting my boat out a little bit pushed the front end around, so I had to take a second shot at getting back out in the current. And you can tell they're paddling really, really hard and not making it very far at all. So the stream was getting a little narrower, a little shallower still, and really flowing pretty rapidly. So once I tucked in behind this rock here, caught this little eddy, I could sit here pretty much without paddling at all, but I realized I couldn't make it any farther, so just went ahead and turned around and headed on back to the main river channel. It is 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and I made it here to Two Rivers, takeout point. Here's my boat. So I'm early. I had been planning to get off the river on Sunday morning. I was going to camp tonight on the river. However, once I got to Alley Springs and saw all the boats and tubes and rafts and everything, I was pretty sure the river was going to be pretty crowded the rest of the way. And sure enough, it was. It got even more crowded a few miles down in Eminence, where somehow even more people were putting on the river. So it was just wall-to-wall people for the last, I guess it's been about 14 miles. So I decided to go ahead and get off the river. Didn't really want to spend the night on the river with a bunch of people. I think most of them were doing day trips. A few of them did have gear, it looked like, for overnight trips, but I think most of them went a bit off the river, but it's just so many people. And what I didn't expect, I wasn't surprised to see that, I guess. Nice summer day on a weekend, so it wasn't too surprising. There were also at Eminence ton, or it looked like a ton of trail riding, trail riding horses. Went by several barns, and along the river there were several people riding along the river, and I have some footage you'll see there, people crossing the river on horses. So there are horses everywhere, so even getting away from people, getting on the gravel bar, there were horse trails all over the place. So anyway, that added up to me calling an audible and go ahead and getting off the river today. I guess to put a little perspective on how many people are floating, when I left Two Rivers Friday morning, there's me, my truck, and two others parked in the floater parking area, and there are two other people camped. Now you see tons of campers. All those cars are floater parking. All these cars are floater parking. And more campers up over the hill. I'm not sure if you can see all them. More people parked over there. Actually, the floater parking is back in the woods a little bit. So there's a little parking lot right back through there. The upper part of the jacks is definitely a good float. I would say I put it at 17 Bridge, but it starts, I think, about 6 miles farther up at, I think it's called Bryant Creek. I'm not positive, but anyway, from where I put in at 17 Bridge to about Alley Springs was really good, and then that's where all the people showed up. So probably the very start, the 6 miles farther up would be just as good. So anyway, for floating, I recommend probably taking out Alley Springs, or just floating from Alley Springs on down to your takeout the same day, and don't camp after Alley Springs. Alright, I have taken a shower and cleaned up, loaded up, ready to head home. It's 1:45, so I get straight home, should be there, let's see, around 8 o'clock. I'll probably have to stop for gas and water one time, maybe two, so somewhere around 8 o'clock. So anyway, I guess that concludes this river adventure. It was fun, first day especially. The second day with all the people was less fun. That first day was really nice.